What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about 19 things that you'll only understand if you grew up in Norway. So today, I really want to take a look at this article. This is about all of the weirdest things about living in Norway, unless you are Norwegian. If you are Norwegian, all of this stuff is going to sound completely normal to you. But as an American myself, I'm just curious to learn about some of the biggest differences between growing up in Norway versus growing up here in the United States. So let's take a look at these, starting with number one, Rusetid? Like Rus, I'm starting with the craziest of them all. I can't even begin to tell you how much I enjoy telling people about this fun Norwegian tradition. In short, Rusetid. Rusetid means Rus time. I've heard of this is like the this is like the crazy graduation thing in Norway. I think most Americans have never heard of this, but from what I understand, I don't completely understand it, but Norwegian high schoolers who are graduating like just go crazy and do all this crazy stuff. It's around May 1st to May 17th, National Day. It's 3 weeks. It's 17 to 19-year-olds. I thought this was just kids who are graduating in Norway. But it's 17 to 19-year-olds running around wearing similar trousers, mainly red, black, or blue. I think I've seen pictures of the red trousers. Why are there different colors? There's black and blue. I will explain these shortly. When you graduate high school, or videregående, I don't know if that made any sense, what I just said, but in Norway, you are nicknamed the Rus. Oh, you are called the Rus? I thought the whole activity was called the Rus. Anyway, you are nicknamed Rus. You celebrate during your Rusetid. You order custom trousers in a predetermined color based on your program of study. Okay. Oh, based on what you studied in Norwegian high school. You wear different colors of trousers. Okay. Um, uh, this, first of all, I have to say, this is definitely the craziest thing that Norwegians do, and totally unexpected. If, like, for Americans, this is the last thing that we ever expected Norwegians to be doing. I don't know why. I guess, like, Scandinavia or Norway, you guys are just known for being, like, I don't know, wealthy, sort of respectable, progressive, sometimes serious. And then, lo and behold, you guys have this crazy graduation thing this sounds way crazier than anything that we do here in America in regards to graduating high school. Um, so this is something I don't really completely understand. I think you really do have to be Norwegian to understand this completely, but it sounds like a lot of fun. Um, there's drinking every day. And yes, we still have to go to school. Oh my God. It's a party for 3 weeks without adults saying anything. This is crazy. This would never work in America. American kids can't handle the responsibility of this. So adults don't say anything because they did it when they were in high school. That's hilarious. That's funny. In the United States, adults are very, very overprotective especially of young children, but also teenagers. And we can't even drink till we're 21 in America. And even though there's a lot of drinking and partying at college and university in America, you can get in a lot of trouble, and parents get very angry, even though they did the same thing when they were in college in America. They did the same thing. Everybody's breaking the law, drinking underage in America. But anyway, in Norway, it seems like everyone understands this is just a big celebration. Everyone does. You still have to go to school. Oh my God. The Rus brings with it something called Ruseknutter. What does that mean? Is that like a hangover? I don't know. Oh, here we go. The Ruseknutter are, these are tasks and challenges? These are challenges you complete. They're not mandatory. Schools will have 120 to 150? There are certain levels. We earned silver by completing 75 out of 120? Oh my God. This can be quite crazy. Many of them are sexual or alcohol related or embarrassing. This is insane, you know? This is only the first thing in this article, by the way. This video is not about the Norwegian Rus. This is about things you only understand if you grew up in Norway, but I'm going to spend a little time on this because these are some details I did not know about. So you're doing these challenges. They're sexual or alcohol related. This would never be okay in America. Sexualizing teenagers that's totally not okay. And we're not allowed to drink legally till we're 21. So, yeah, I don't understand this, but some of the tasks you had to do were camping outside your teacher's house overnight. What? To make them breakfast in the morning? Finish a bottle of wine in 20 minutes? Chug beer with tampons in your mouth? What? What is this? I had no idea about this. I've heard a little about the Rus thing in Norway. These are insane. For two guys, walk into a petrol station, buy a cucumber and condoms, and then ask to use the restroom. These are very sexual. Drink a bottle of beer without your hands. Lie down and roll across a crosswalk. Follow someone to the grocery store. Pick out the same groceries. Norwegians are hilarious. You guys are really funny. This is amazing. What? Oh my God, this is like crazy. Wear loaves of bread as shoes for the whole day. Pretend to be James Bond. Run into a classroom wearing hoods and masks and kidnap a desk? I did not know this was so crazy. I can't even imagine this. This sounds like chaos. And everybody is doing this? Like, there's 100 challenges, and the entire, like, graduating class of students is all doing this every day for 3 weeks? This sounds... How do you get any work done? I don't know. This would be... I mean... I can't imagine. Like, I'm trying to think... There's no possible way to truly understand this experience unless you are a Norwegian who has gone through it. Rus is such a fun time, you only get to do it once. Oh my, this is something you don't find anywhere else. No kidding. All right, let's keep going here. Public transportation by the fjords. So this is another thing you'll only understand if you grew up in Norway. Public transport by the fjords? The first time I told my friends about the school boat, they thought I was joking. School boat? What is that? What does that mean? The fact It's a fact, when you grow up by fjords, it's often quicker to get from one place to another by boat. When I was 16, we had to move out to go to high school. Going to Sogndal by bus would take 1.5 hours, including a ferry ride, but it was only 40 minutes by boat. In Norway, you guys use boats as normal transportation. Like to get to school, a boat? I can't even imagine that. I mean, it sounds awesome. It sounds like a fantasy to me. Like, that's so far from anything I've ever thought about or experienced. I've almost never been on a boat in my life. Very briefly, let alone a 40-minute ride just to travel to another town or something. Speaking of ferries, you have to get used to them. So you guys, you have to take 3 ferries to get to from Orland to Volda. You take 3 different ferries. Missing one of them sucks. It's simply cheaper to use ferries than to build bridges. So in Norway, it just makes more sense because of all the water to travel by ferries and boats. I didn't know this was so common and so normal in Norway. That is a totally different way of life and traveling. Like, it honestly sounds really cool. And for Americans, we don't travel on boats very often, so it's a really big deal. So it's not, kind of sounds really amazing. Number 3, things you'll only understand if you grew up in Norway. Tunnels. Loads of tunnels. So this is kind of like boats. You guys use boats a lot, and you guys use lots of tunnels. There's impressive tunnels in the cities as well. Some even have roundabouts in them. Norway is very mountainous. To get anywhere, you have to go through mountains and tunnels. That makes sense to me. This is not that crazy to me. Maybe there's more tunnels than I realize, but in America, we don't have a lot of tunnels, but we have tunnels. But I think it sounds like you guys have way more tunnels, and they're much longer. I've never been in a tunnel that was more than like a minute to drive through, and I thought that was really long. Okay, that doesn't like blow my mind or anything. In Norway, you have very different dialects. The neighboring village to Arland is called Lærdal, and the tunnel connecting our 2 villages is the world's longest tunnel. It's 20 minutes of driving through a tunnel. That sounds scary. Anyway, what about dialects? This is why the dialects in Lærdal and Arland are distinctly different from each other, despite our close geographic proximity. This is the same for many rural areas in Norway who were only recently connected. So there are hundreds of dialects in Norway. Dialects. This is like all of you guys speak Norwegian, the language. But depending on where you are in Norway, it's like a different type of Norwegian language, basically. And you guys can all understand each other for the most part. How hard is it to understand a different dialect in Norway? Is it like learning another language? Or, I don't know. I don't, again, just like the video here kind of says, I did not grow up in Norway, so I don't really understand how this works. It's not an accent. In America, we have different accents. We have different slang. We do not have different dialects. That is something unique about Norway I can't really understand. It's the Norwegian language, but it's spoken a little differently in different parts of Norway. I think that's big. Like I think maybe it's like how we speak English in the United States and how they speak English in the United Kingdom. 95% of the words are the same. And then, like, a small amount of words are different. I think it must be kind of like that, right? Does that sound about right? I don't know. In Norway, misspelled street names and a lack of them. What does that mean? Fun fact, my village did not get street names until I was in high school. You didn't have street names? And the street name we got was so ridiculous, most people I speak to on the phone struggle to spell it. It's Raigajakaryaja. What is this? Street names in Norway are difficult to spell and difficult to say. You'll find Erling. Oh, shit. What is? Oh my God. Okay, I'll try. Skja Jagslongsketse in Oslo. Peace Veshogdavagen. Peace Veshogdavagen. How's that? Is that okay? Let's. Yes. If you don't grow up in Norway, you have no chance of pronouncing these correctly. And it sounds like even if you grow up in Norway, it's pretty hard. In Norway, okay, this is another thing you'll only understand growing up in Norway. Watching Cinderella in Czech on Christmas Eve. What? What? Finding a hidden almond in your porridge and winning a marzipan pig? What does this even mean? This sounds like Norwegian Christmas traditions? Yes, many fun Christmas traditions we bring out in Norway. We have all what? We have all grown up watching the same old Czech version of Cinderella, dubbed by the same actor several decades ago. What? Can anyone explain this? So you watch Cinderella on Christmas Eve? Why Cinderella? Also, it's dubbed by a Czech person? Our parents serve rice porridge with an almond hidden in it. The first person who finds the almond wins a pig made of marzipan. Okay, cool. Okay, I won't question it. Norway has some really funny traditions. All right, you'll only understand if you grew up in Norway. Brøy testekicker. There is not a good English word for this, and I didn't even realize this was specifically Norwegian until I went to Lofoten with a friend who thought I was lying when I said we remove them every summer. What is a brøytekister? I'm gonna translate this. Hold on. Okay, what is this? Plowing sticks?
Brøytestikker. Brøytestikker. Brøytestikker.
Brøytestikker. These are sticks we put along the side of the road before winter so we can see where the road ends and the snow begins. Okay, this is a very good example of something extremely random that I've never thought about before. It makes sense to me why. In Norway, it's a much more intense winter, a lot more snow. So you guys put sticks on the side of the road so you can see where the road ends and the snow starts. And it helps snow-plow trucks determine where the road is. If there's a lot of snow, you'll see the tops of this word that I can't pronounce sticking up. These are loosely translated to plowing sticks. Really? Is there a picture? It's the orange-red stick you see in the photo? Oh, this. Okay, so you stab them into the ground. This is a stick you stab into the ground to mark where the road is. because there's so much snow you can't tell. And it seems like in Norway, you guys have roads and a lot more like treacherous, crazy landscapes, where it might not be easy to see where the road begins and ends. This makes sense to me. I think I get it. Okay. All right. I think we've been going at this for quite a while. Oh my gosh. Because this is so interesting. This is amazing. There's so many weird little things about Norway I had no idea about, including these sticks you stab the earth with. But I think I have to stop here for now because we've been doing this for so long. But I will come back to this. I will continue learning about these things, about Norway, in part 2. So if you've enjoyed this so far, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment if you're Norwegian and you understand these things because you grew up in Norway. Feel free to leave a comment explaining more about some of these confusing things. That'd be awesome to hear about. And if you're interested in part 2, or if you're just interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and learning about Norwegian culture and seeing Norwegian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.